Hello friends, today I'm going to share a story, The Poor Woodcutter and the Lord of Death. Once upon a time, in a remote village in India, there lived an old woodcutter. He lived alone in a small, dilapidated hut with no family to call his own and no wealth to speak of. Getting on in years, his health too was deteriorating fast. But in spite of it all, he had no choice but to fend for himself by cutting and gathering wood from the forest. Besides, he had to carry the wood and sell it in the market in the evening to be able to afford a square meal for himself at night. Clearly, his life was filled with unimaginable hardship. During the monsoon, his plight wouldn't worsen. Often the wood that he cut would become wet, making it impossible for him to sell it in the market for the same day. Thus, he would be forced to go hunger to bed. So during the monsoon, it was not unusual for him to go without food for several days at a stretch. Indeed, and during travel in life at the ripe of old age of 70 years, had left him deeply exhausted, extremely distressed with his life. He would often carry out loud saying, "O Lord of death, why don't you come for me? Are you angry with me? You have taken so many people far younger than me. Then why do you ignore me? Am I your enemy?" The pain he felt was clearly reflected in the poignant entreaties. One day there was an astonished twist in his mundane life. Sitting despondently under a tree, he was, as usual, invoking the Lord of Death to come and set him free from his sordid life. He kept beseeching the Lord of Death to release him from his miserable existence. As he continued with his rant, he suddenly felt someone's hand on his shoulder. Startled, the old man turned around to see who it was, and nearly jumped out of his skin. A giant of a man was glowering down at him with his eyes that resembled burning coal. With his heart fluttering with fear, the woodcutter fumbled for words but finally managed to ask, Who are you?" In a booming voice that reverberated in the forest, the man replied, "I am Lord of Death. It was just passing by when I heard your poignant entreaty. The time of your death has not yet arrived. You still have many more years to live, but your pathetic condition has pulled at my heartstrings. Come, I'll take you with me now." Shocked, the woodcutter was jolted back to his senses on hearing these words. He was an experienced old man and instantly realized his folly. He fell at the feet of the Lord of Death and said, "Oh, actually, you see, I have not eaten a morsel since the past few days. Hence, I uttered these words in desperation. I am a very happy man. So please understand that I have no intention of dying any time in the near future. My outburst was merely due to my frustration. In the future, please do not heed my pledge and do not take the trouble to visit me again if you will never call out of you. But in case I do so by mistake, please ignore my pleas." Heading a grin, the Lord of Death replied, "As you wish," and instantly vanished into thin air. It was because of Woodcutter's scary experience that his life underwent a remarkable transformation. Relieved that he had been spared, not only did he walk with a spring in his step, but also stopped snooning about the situation. Surprisingly, he never felt distressed after the incident. His mind and his life had changed forever. Although there was no discernible change in his circumstances and he still struggled to make ends meet, but everything within him had changed. Why was this so? That was because after having encountered death at such close quarters, the woodcutter had realized even though he possessed nothing, he was alive. And if one is alive and a sense of being alive still exists, then what else does one need? Moral of the story: life is the most valuable gift that nature has bestowed upon humankind. Ironically, a person realizes its value only when he is on the verge of death. A person who does not value his own life can never understand the value of the people or objects around him. Strangely, a human being considers all that he possesses are worthless and what he loses seems priceless to him. But the only truth is that he can only live with what he possesses. Thank you.